here in the top right-hand corner of Entomb Valley, we have, from the team of ZeeZ, it's ZeeZ. He's our blue, who I have as red because they switched colors on me. Protoss player. And his opponent in the lower left-hand corner of Entomb Valley from Isurus is Darkness, our red Protoss player, taking the last game.
Yep, so first PvP of the series. Darkness last game did a good job basically biding his time. He did actually, I wonder if that grizzled disciple stalker made it through the end of that last game.
Ooh, the world may never know now.
That's a feature that I just thought of, a way to mark units. So that we can, maybe just a spectator client thing to just mark units.
You can hotkey them and come back to them at any given point in time.
Yeah, why isn't that a thing?
That's pretty cool, actually.
Like, that would be so great for warp prisms and DTs and
it just seems like that
medevacs.
Moment when, like, the heavens open and bright light shines through.
That's yeah, because that's, as a caster, literally, that's one of the most annoying things in the world when you see a unit and you're like, I have to remember that that's there, and then you're casting a few minutes later and you're like, where is it? Where in God's green Entombed Valley is this warp prism? Like, it's if being able to hotkey stuff, even on a separate set of hotkeys, would just be amazing.
Valley looks pretty great to me. So
I see green.
Yeah.
I mean, I am colorblind in 10 different ways, but no, actually, I'm not.
10.
Yeah,
that's impressive.
Yeah,
there's more.
There's more than 10 colors though, so I can see most of them just fine. And they're really 10 obscure colors, so it's not even really a big deal.
I always love though whenever because red and green is just always kind of universally like stop or go or whatever, and that's the color combination that people have trouble with most often. So why is that a thing? Why is that? I don't know.
At least it's the same order. Nationwide, and there are blue. I've seen blue go. Stoplights before, but I mean, really, they're not helping anybody. I mean, it's got to be all or none. There's no point on the blue go lights, but
well, it is PvP time, and we've been seeing a lot of developments in PvP lately that have been pretty cool, honestly. A lot of players like Huck that have been going for double gas before Cybernetics Core, but it's not because they're trying to rush for DTs like you would have supposed a while ago. It's because they want a lot of flexibility in what tech they go down, because some players will decide to put 2 on each gas, and then just go into a normal warp gate play, maybe go up to a robotics facility and blink. You can put 3 on each and go into Stargate, as Phoenix plays kind of had a resurgence. In this case, though, it looks like nothing too out of the ordinary. Potentially a 3 Stalker build here for Darkness. ZeeZ, on the other hand, nothing looking too weird for him quite yet. He hasn't saved up a ton of Chrono Boost either.
Well, it's a good thing I'm not playing, because I just want to build 10 Immortals and try to kill the guy before he can kill me. That's my go-to PvP strat. It's really difficult to pull off. Basically, you wall off completely and start building Immortals. Yeah. And then when you have a bunch, you blow up your own pylon and walk across the map and try to kill them.
How does that work for you, by the way? What's the success rate?
In team games, it works just fine. Because you need to wall off in team games anyway, and then they don't know what you're doing. But
well, it's always good to get a lot of gas when you're going for Stargate, but unfortunately you don't need 4 Harvesters on your gas geyser. If it was Stefano that was playing, as we see Stargate coming up for both players, he'd politely remind ZeeZ that he had 4 on gas, and that's not necessary.
That's true. He's very manner. And Stefano has arrived in Korea now, so he is practicing with the TSL guys. That should be cool for him.
Yeah,
yeah. I just say that because I saw a picture tweeted today. Stefano arrived in time for Kaldor's birthday.
Oh, nice.
Kaldor just had a birthday yesterday, turned 30 years old. Yep. And we love Kaldor here, obviously. He came and cast IPL 4 for us, and we hope to see him again in the future.
Great guy, super hard worker.
Happy belated birthday to him.
Yeah, very happy birthday to him. But yeah, great guy, super hard worker, and at IPL 4, I don't know how many people know this, was actually really sick and still casted so much, including the GSTL finals. So really awesome guy. So Thomas, that one's for you.
And that was my first time meeting him, and got to hang out with him after the event and stuff like that, and got to know him a little bit better. But that was a lot of fun hanging out with him. So yeah, happy birthday to him. And so far on this game, we do have Phoenixes coming out from both sides. One weird thing about Phoenix battles, though, micro is really difficult to do because they shoot all the time. Like, microing Phoenixes against Phoenixes just looks silly compared to, like, Stalkers versus Stalkers, because they're just floating around still shooting all the time. Like, you have to go in and out of range. It's really, really difficult to do. So most people just, like, let them fight it out and don't even bother trying to do anything else.
And is.Darkness is going to go after a... well, no, both players actually putting down the robotics facility right away. So both these guys going to go after a little bit more passive play. We'll see if he can get a kill there in the middle of that. Sometimes players will decide to pick up a sentry. Oh, actually, Phoenix comes back for ZeeZ as well, and he decides to cancel his robotics facility.
Interesting.
And
oh my goodness.
Darkness decided to cancel this too.
Both players canceling their robos off of just that little tiny bit of information. Oh, here's the Phoenix battle. No micro necessary in that case. Strength in numbers. Wow, it just looks so weird because it's like there's he's just going to run away and continue shooting anyway. Another Stargate coming up from Darkness. Wow, interesting. And air weapons coming along for ZeeZ.
What? Okay, so double Stargate versus a air weapons
gateways?
upgrade.
Yes.
I'm already in love with this game. I don't even care what happens from here on out.
Who even knows? Let's see carriers. Carriers would be good.
Yes.
Oh, that just reminds me. Carriers remind me of the Battle.net blog post today of Heart of the Swarm beta coming soon. They actually posted that they're going to be inviting players soon for the Heart of the Swarm beta, and carriers will not be in that game. So go ahead and build them while you still can.
I really wanted Genius to win GSL Code S a couple of months ago against Dongringu with carriers. I just wanted it to be the way that the Wings of Liberty went out, as if to say, "Ha ha, they can work." But no, he just got destroyed.
Man, if we saw some carriers in MC versus Seed, then I'd be like really mind blown. If they played PvP to the point where they were getting carriers out, that would just be some ridiculous stuff. But right now, I mean, carriers could be fun, but I mean, Phoenixes are still kind of a weird unit. I mean, they're great in many situations, but there's some situations where they're just totally useless, and both players are still just building so many Phoenixes here. It's kind of ridiculous. It's going to be down to who engages first and with the most Phoenixes, really.
And we do have that +1 weapons coming up for ZeeZ. However, his opponent was double producing Phoenixes for quite a while there, so this is a little bit crazy.
So weird. Well, the Phoenixes are going to sneak in here and get some free probe kills. Look how fast they gun those guys down. You can't have all of them lift, because then nobody's doing damage.
That's right.
+1 air weapons is not quite done yet, so the strength in numbers from Darkness most likely, yes, definitely going to win out here in this Phoenix battle. Oh my goodness, I can't believe he didn't wait the last 10 seconds for that upgrade. It could have been a totally different story.
And he has a fair number of forces sitting outside. It looks like, wow, Darkness was thinking about pushing that and then sees what's out there. Absolutely cannot. It'd be really nice if you could pick up a sentry or something like that here as these stalkers are out. There they go, finally picking up that sentry. So just waiting for it.
Sentry, very valuable target there for the Phoenix lift. Obviously, not only can it hit air, but it's got the Guardian shield and the force fields and stuff like that. So just the high priority target, not a lot of life on it anyway. So good targeting there from Darkness. And it looks like ZeeZ is going to try and switch gears here. He does have a Forge coming up now and Twilight Council, so going to be focusing back on his gateway units more so than the mass Phoenixes, I feel like.
Oh, wow.
This is so many Phoenixes coming out of Darkness.
Phoenixes do double the damage against light units as well, and they attack twice, so you can see how quickly they can actually dispatch of Zealots. This is actually really, really bad for ZeeZ. I'm actually not sure how he's going to make his way out of this. Well, that's maybe inefficiently lifting up Stalkers.
Yeah, and they did not need to. They don't need to stick around to try to kill off these Stalkers. Phoenixes aren't free. I mean, you can be using these graviton beams for probes in the main or the natural. You don't need to be fighting Stalkers, especially when you're faster than a Stalker, and there's opportunity for you to go kill other things. I mean, he is killing the Stalkers, though. This is actually working out better than it by all means should. He is going to kill this last Stalker and still have some beams left for these new ones. Man, this is actually kind of ridiculous.
Okay, well, Darkness just going to make this work. He's got one more Phoenix flying overhead, loses one of his own, but picks up another Stalker on the way as well. He's still continuing to double produce Phoenixes. That's all he's made, so...
Yeah, and he's out of Graviton Beam energy now, unfortunately, but he did kill so many Stalkers. The Phoenixes did pay for themselves, essentially, and he's still making 2 at a time out of those Stargates. He does have a ground force. I feel like the ground force at this point could come along for the ride and try to really do, some lasting damage here.
Okay, well, this has ended up being a little bit ridiculous, I have to say. Darkness is going to continue rolling in. His macro slipping just a bit. It looks like he's more worried about the Phoenix micro than anything else. Picks off a few workers and decides to get out of there. Blink is on the way for ZeeZ, but it's not done yet, so he can't really track down those Phoenixes
Did I see another Stargate started? Okay. Whew. I was like, why? Why would you do that?
You got my hopes up for a second.
Nope, just a robotics base. So, you know, Phoenix Colossi is another old. I would say it's an older go-to. I haven't seen it in a while, honestly, in PvP. Phoenix Colossi are okay against Terran, I feel like. Maybe Zerg as well, just to pick off Overlords, but it's just weird to see this number of Phoenixes in a PvP at all.
Yeah, Darkness is being a little bit cavalier with them. He's built himself up a big advantage, and now just kind of letting them die pretty carelessly. So
yeah, and yeah, it was like I was saying, they're not free, so fighting Stalkers like this is kind of a little silly, but I mean, he's supplementing his ground forces slowly but surely. He's getting extended thermal lances before his opponent, so he could still be in just fine shape. And he's getting that third base online. The Phoenixes are going to be annoying enough. I feel like ZeeZ has basically given up on that front. He's got his Blink Stalker, so he can defend somewhat, but you know, it's still going to be really difficult to deal with these. He picked off 2 Phoenixes there.
Yes, he did.
If he keeps the 3 hanging around long enough, though, he can still prevent any kind of expansion from ZeeZ.
And it's been 10 workers killed to just 4 for now, so and certainly he's still doing damage with them. But he's not to the point where he's exactly freeing up supply for anything yet, so this is not the most cost-effective damage. Does duck in there, though. Picks off another probe. Got a pretty good force of Blink Stalkers make their way across the map, though.
Yeah, pure Stalker moving across. I mean, just a handful of Zealots, maybe even 1 or 2 sentries, but really just that sheer number of Stalkers, and they do have +1 upgrade about to finish. I'd be really sad if he just blinked in before that finish, so at least he is going to wait this time around. Zealot Charge is on the way now as well. Another robotics facility, just all kinds of stuff coming up. Twilight Council finally coming up for Darkness, so he's going to be able to catch up on that Blink tech. He's kind of given up on Phoenixes finally on his own side, and I'm surprised. I'm actually a little bit surprised he hasn't built a fleet beacon yet, just to have that optional tech available.
Yeah, I mean, Mothership is actually pretty decent in late game PvP. I mean, it's only popped up in a few pro games, but certainly can turn the tide. I like how ZeeZ is investing in upgrades, even being down a little bit at this stage of the game. Upgrades are, I mean, they're always important, but they're critically important in mirror matchups. I mean, it's anything to give yourself that extra little advantage. But Darkness finds himself up by, what, 35 supply now? Almost 40 supply, so ZeeZ has to do a little bit more than just win the upgrade advantage.
Yeah, we basically have Colossi versus High Templar at this point. I'm not sure if he got Storm already researched yet. If we could, okay, so no Storm yet, only Templar, which obviously is Charge-Lot Archon. He's gearing up for that with the Blink Stalker sort of supporting force. And 2 more Forges coming for Darkness. Oh, wait, maybe these are his first 2?
Those are the first ones,
Oh, wow,
yeah.
That's right. Because he invested so heavily in air in that early game, he has not even built any Forges until just now. He's going to start rolling those upgrades and be a little bit behind ZeeZ in the ground war. But those Colossi are going to do so much damage once those Charge-Lots get in there.
Yeah, and range is done, so there's a lot of forces coming out now for ZeeZ. He's making his way across the map, but this is rough. I mean, he's got to kill his opponent now, because if he doesn't, he's going to be down in bases. These Phoenixes are even swinging back in to pick off a few additional workers, so things not looking good for ZeeZ. He's got to kill his opponent and kill him now.
Yeah, Darkness with really good map awareness. He had his observer over the army of Darkness had good map awareness. He saw the army of ZeeZ moving out, and here we go. Force field's going down, and looks like Darkness placed those so that the Colossi can stay at a safe range. He's got 5 Colossi now. I think this is just going to be way too much for ZeeZ to be able to handle, even with nice upgrades on his side. He just finished 2-0. He attacked before that +2 even happened again, but the Colossi really just making a massive difference here. I don't even know if ZeeZ was expecting this. I'm not sure how his scouting really has been throughout this game, but to see that big wall of Colossi has got to be disheartening no matter what.
Oh, yeah, and these Archons really weren't able to do all that much damage at all. Now the biological units are down as well. He's going to blink directly on top, picks off 1 Colossus. It looks like that's all he's going to get. That's it. GG. And Darkness has put Isurus just 1 game away